Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? My name is Irene Umar. I'm CEO and founder of W3GG. Welcome back to the AMA series that we have been holding, I think, almost on a weekly basis, if not a few times a week. And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions for us, but today the focus of the AMA is our community focus is an overrated or an abused words in the world of Web3. I hope that all of us are back in and at home or wherever you guys are. I know last week was a very big week for a lot of us in crypto. A lot of you guys are in Token 2049. Very happy to see a lot of familiar faces. And I apologize in advance for my voice that's a bit squeaky because of so much IRL connections and networking and communication conversations with each and every one of you. If I didn't meet you at that time, and this is the time for us to connect. And today we have very special guests. We have Nix, who is Nix. Are you gonna be here? And we have Josh as well from Sekuya. So Nix
Hello.
is Axie ambassador or Ronin ambassador. He is a force to be reckoned with in the first ever play to earn game. So we're very honored to have him. And Joshua is obviously a partner and also another force to be reckoned with, not only in Indonesia, but also in Southeast Asia. I'll pass it to Nix first and then Joshua to do a bit of self-intro before we jump straight in into the AMA. Go ahead, Nix.
Awesome. Thanks, Irene. Yep, my name is Nix. I work the growth team for Sky Mavis. So that's Ronin Network, that's Axie Infinity. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and happy to chat with you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nix. And what about you, Joshua?
Hi Irene, thank you for inviting. I'm Josh, the co-founder and CEO of Sekuya. So basically, we make games, we do racings, we start from communities, and yeah, we do many good stuff, and definitely with VGG also.
Awesome, fantastic. These two are the guys and gentlemen that I really look up to because Nix, although he just said that I'm the growth team from Sky Mavis, my goodness, he's truly the force from the very beginning of X in 2021, or if not earlier. So the word community is something that's very deeply rooted in the heart of both Nix personally and also in Josh, because both of them start off from mentioning that community growth is all about growing the communities, and with Sky Mavis, obviously, and Ronin announcing the forge of 7 games into Ronin, I think there's a lot of us, a lot that we have to talk about. But I want to start with this because the topic is a lot of people say community focus, community focus, community focus, right? But how many projects out there are really looking out to the community? So all the AMAs, if you have heard about WeGG, last one we had with investors, we hit straight to the point and race out the pink elephant, right? Everyone is talking about the community. First off, why do you think community is the center point for most crypto projects? And what is the start behind it? Perhaps you could start with the OG Nix. Sorry there.
Um, I think community is everything. Honestly, it is the only thing we have in Web3. Let's be real. If we're talking about Web3 games, there are a bunch of game studios who have been building it way before we were, right? The technology, the experience, they maybe have the edge, right? So if you
Yeah.
think about it, what do we really have? And the only thing we really have, which is undeniable and something that is very rare in Web2, is community. A very good example is if you play, I don't know what game you guys play, but let's say you play Pokemon, for example. And I'm sorry if, if this is a
No,
bad
of
example.
course, I play
You play
Pokemon. I
Pokemon,
love Pokemon.
right? You play Pokemon, and then you're like, there's some annoying thing that's happening in the game. Maybe there's a bug, or maybe there's something you don't like. If you complain on Twitter, no one's really gonna help you. Like, no one's really gonna reply to you. Community will probably be like, oh, whatever, right? But in Web3, like, we're here, we're visible, we're building with the community. Every voice matters. So, yeah, it's everything because it's the only thing that we really have. And yeah, I think every project should be putting a focus on community building.
Joshua, do you think that all the projects who say that they're community focused are community focused? And what's the impact as a result of that?
Yeah. I always love to not being normative in a way because
I
sometimes
know.
it's interesting to share our mind about it, right? So, for me personally, I don't think everything is about communities when people build something, right? Even the community itself, we can say it won't be 100% loyal to what we build. For me personally, it's like that. So at the first one, in the developer side, some of them use communities in a way that, oh yeah, we are from community, something like that, but actually it's for the gain of the projects, right? It's actually good for the projects if it can make profit and sustainable. But if it's only like for the founders and then they don't do anything else after that, I think that would be the case. And the second one, for the community side, um, I say in the part that not all communities is loyal in the term of the member, because um, even though Sekuya start from one communities and then we grow into like 200 communities right now, right? And we still keep growing. We are going to go to 1,000 is our goal, right? But the term is the community is not loyal, because the thing that needs to be loyal is the house. So when we build something in Secure, we believe that the house needs to be loyal to the value. So when people come and go, they can always be part of the community or not be part of the community, but the house needs to be loyal to the value. So it can be a home whenever people come and go as the community. That's something that I believe on.
So, Josh, you touched on a very interesting topic there, and I'm going to bounce it to Nick to confirm whether or not that's true. All right. One is that you feel it's the loyalty, communities come and go, but what's important is that there's a home for them to come back to anytime they have to, as long as there is a real values that we stick around with. That's correct, right, Josh? Yeah. Okay. Next, from Sky
Yes.
Mavis' perspective, right? Sky Mavis has been around for quite some time. There's built a bull and bear market that you guys have survived, and the community has proven to be pretty strong, right? Despite of quite a number of things that happened during the quiet time, people are like wondering what's going on, and then bang, last week you guys come up with a heavyweight announcements, and some I'm sure I can't share here, but you're dropping some alphas last week. Do you resonate with what Josh said, that people come and go, but as long as we continue to deliver and stick to the values, then in the end of the day they will come back.
Yeah, so we do have, it happens a lot, especially, at the start of the. All right, thank you for the compliment. It started with Axie, right? Everyone was into Axie. I think a lot of early like kind of crypto gaming people started playing Axie, and naturally some of them have moved on, right? Like it's fine. Like we get into something and then we move on. It's fine, right? But then, like we see, the more you do interesting things, the more you kind of level up. Some of these people who've moved on, they get curious and they're like, they come back and they're like, hey, what's new? What's happening again? And we do see that a lot for Axie Infinity, for other, some of them, maybe they played Axie before, they kind of moved on, and then they hear about, oh, Ronin has 7 new games. And like in the 7 new games, they're like, one of them is very interesting for them, right? Like, oh, Kororo Beast is a Pokemon kind of game. I want to do that, right? I want to get involved. So this is pretty common. And I think it all boils down to the kind of foundation that we've built and that we continue to build. Because in everything we do, we try to put the community first. We want to make sure that, everyone, there's an experience, there's a game for everyone. Even if you're not a gamer, maybe there's some other interesting things that you could be involved in. We support our creators, we support artists in the community and builders. So, it's just all these small things that you do consistently and constantly that builds up that foundation. So no matter what happens in the future, if someone moves on, like someone's not interested anymore, like there's always a door for them to like go back in and be welcome.
Cool. Question for the two of you, right? I mean, you said people leave and go, and we build this as a home, as a family, right? It's the same values that we hold in VGG. But same like Axie, I think, when at the bear market, and also same as Sekuya, we experienced that there are a lot of people who left, right? And was there a bit of sadness of doubts that ever slipped into the heart of the two of you, like, what the hell are we doing? Are we doing actually something that's good for the community? Was there ever that thoughts that come to you guys when people leave? It's similar with how parents could be, right? When the kids leave the nest. So I just want to know like how you guys feel at that time during the bear market when people actually leave. Next, you're smiling ear to ear, but it seems like there's a lot that you want to pull out. Go ahead.
All right, maybe I'll start. Um, So it's a bit different for me because, like, as a person, I'm very competitive. Like, I'm super competitive. So actually, if someone, it depends on who, what way or method like this person is, right? If someone left because they've moved on, like they're fine, like they just want to do something else, that's okay for me. Like, I feel like we could always do a good job, or we could eventually, if we do enough of a good job, like they'll come back, right? But if someone left and like kind of was like hating on our project, I'm very competitive to the point that I'm gonna make sure that they regret their decision, right? So like,
It's good.
it's a little bit of
It's the way to go.
I'm sometimes fueled by kind of this like this like weird thing of like I want to be motivated that way, but um ultimately, I think it really depends on the situation. For me, like sometimes I have fun with it, right? Like instead of being sad, I'm like motivated, right? All right, they moved on. How do we get them back? What can we do so that they feel so bad about their decision that they're gonna be coming back asking how, hey, I want to do this again? I'm like, oh, welcome, right? The good thing is I'm not petty, so I'm gonna welcome them back. But it's just like I use that as kind of a motivation to do better, which kind of works out.
Love that. We share similar value, Nix, and that's what keeps us going. What about you, Josh? I believe we talked about this and a bit of what Nix touched on before, but obviously the audience hasn't heard directly from you.
Yeah. Um, I think from my point, it will be like um, we all are idiots until we make it, and then we are genius, right? So
Well said,
everyone,
well said. We are all
right?
idiots unless we make it, then we are genius.
Yeah, whatever it is, right? Because like we have hundreds, thousands of ideas in the Web3. Even like right now, we have like um, the Solana. It makes like in the 2024 itself, it more than 1 million projects born. We can say most of them scam, right? 99% scam, but we can say like 1 million project born, right? So it means like everyone have ideas. Ideas is precious, but in the same way, ideas are cheap when we can execute it. Even when we can execute it, it will still be cheap if we don't make it, right? If by the end of the day we didn't make it. So yeah, I think that's my standpoint. It's okay for the people that think that what we build is um, not matters. It's difficult. It's not something that can deliver. There is always two sides of the coin, so we can go to the other side. The people that believe in
Hmm.
us, that can give constructive feedback. I think those are the people that we need in the circle, not the people that believe us blindly. Also, because when they believe us blindly, you know, we will be blind also when we go, right? But as long as we open our eyes and we receive feedback, we do research every day, that will make us one step ahead of who we are before.
Damn right, Josh. Very well said. It's all about sticking into like first thing I think totally agree with what Nick said starting off on the answer is that turning the negative energy as a powerhouse to motivate ourselves to prove them wrong. I gotta sneakily say it or openly admit that we share the same values pretty much. Like whoever who sort of trash us will make sure that they regret it but with love, you see, just to make sure that this is a force to be reckoned with. And then following on to what Josh said is that uh, ideas are cheap. It all goes down to execution, and to execute a proper project is not based on hype and dump. It's really based on a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. And I think both of you guys have shown it, right? In the beginning, day one of Sekuya, when no one knows Sekuya, and then suddenly right now is racing on Mandalika race course and have more than 250 communities on the Sekuya. And then Ronin, people are like, it's only X Infinity. Sky Mavis, there's only one thing. But then bang, last week, it's not one by one, but it's 7 games. And those games are legit proper games. It's not those games that you mindlessly tap away. Nothing against that, but you get what I mean. So awesome. Now, in terms of communities that both of you are obviously building a different type of community, but there's always something in between, which is gamers, right? If you could share a little bit about, Sekuya, what sort of communities that you guys are developing, and also Sky Mavis, Ronin, Axie, and the 7 games that's coming into the family, what sort of communities are you guys building? So when communities think that, oh, I want to be this, who should I join? Go ahead. So, perhaps Josh, you want to start with?
Yeah, sure. So at the beginning, definitely we start from the Web3 because I think that's the beauty of the Web3. We definitely can start something from nothing. I think that's how we start also. Bootstrapping 2 years, rejected by 200 VCs until we are able to get to a certain point. Even like sharing a lot of things with Irene, eating together with Irene. That's the beauty of the Web3, right? Um, we
Yeah, we eat
focus
a
on
lot
the
together. We love food. Sorry,
Yeah,
go on, Josh.
many good things next. We need to eat together later next. I think you love to eat also.
The
Yeah,
best people love to eat.
but I think gaming is something that we cannot separate in terms of the communities. Yeah, and not only the Web3 gamings because from Sekuya we believe like the WGG also and next. I think we all agree that it's not only about the Web3 gaming or Web2 gamings, but all gamers. Right? Imagine that all the gamers, when we combine it, it's bigger than even the movies industry or the music
Yep.
industry. So $202 billion, I think it's a very big market that we can tap in as long as we have the mindset that we want to tap into all the gamers. Yeah. So yeah, very aligned with the VGG. We love it. Like.
Thank you. Love for you as well. Nix, would you like to add
Yeah,
on to that? Yeah.
yeah. So Ronin is the gaming chain for gamers. We build for gamers. We have a game. Well, I think after that big announcement a few days ago, I can kind of confidently say that we have a game for almost any kind of gamer, whatever genre you have, right? We just announced 2 shooter games. We have a bunch of MMORPGs. The best MMORPGs in Web3 is on Ronin. You have Forgotten Universe, Lumitera, Tatsumiko coming on, Pixel Heroes MMO adventure. We have casual games. We have Ragnarok, Monster World. We have Axie Infinity. We have Land Cozy Games, Pixels Online, Axie Homeland. Like there's a bunch, right? So we're trying to build this ecosystem where like you can come in and there's a game for you, right? I think 2 years ago there was some people find it hard to like connect. Or like, oh, Axie's not really my thing. Like I'm not really into that kind of like cute card game. Like I don't have anything to do, right? That was years ago, right? But now Axie's not the only pathway for you as a gamer on Ronin. So there's a bunch to choose from, and I invite everyone who's listening to try out the games. Um, we have a bunch for you, and funny enough, I think Irene mentioned earlier, like the top game. So funny enough, 2 of the games actually they have a full game, but like what's happening now is Telegram games are being used as kind of like a stopgap between,
Yeah.
if you're still building out your main game, you release a Telegram game, so you keep it interesting, very light, just tap, 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 maybe get some rewards, be some top of funnel mechanism, and then, well, you wait for the game. So, as you said, that actually I was laughing because I just received a notification in one of those tap games, and I was like, just oh, cool. Let me see. So it's
Like,
kind of
Nix,
fun.
you haven't tapped me. Come and tap.
Yeah. You have to tap. You have to feed your pet, or else your pet will die. That's how Kororo Ranch, which is like one of the games, Kororo Beasts, moved from Treasure to Ronin. So one of their experiences is that. So we're building out, for different kinds of people, and it's exciting because now I'm enjoying like my job just got so much easier. Like, oh, there's a new person. Like, oh, all right, what kind of game do you want, right? And then I would be able to like share a game that fits the genre or the interest of that person. And I think long term, that's our vision. Like every gamer has a place on Ronin.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Nix. If Nix is community of gamers, anyone who's gamers, I think Joshua just now forgot that one thing that's really unique to Sekuya is that the anime communities, because anime is something that's big in see anime gaming kingdom. That's what they're building, and VGG is gonna be there. I've got my head of gaming community glaring down at me to make sure that I don't drop any alphas, because we had a really good conversation with both of you guys there. So I'll make sure that I don't drop those alphas. But stay tuned for mid-October for more announcement. That's gonna happen pretty soon. Um, and I think one more thing, right, that you guys mentioned earlier. Mentioned that there's 7 games, and the communities have usually in crypto are not very patient. But now I think the fruits have been sown that it takes 2 years. 2 years ago, there's only one game. The reason why it took quite some time, 1 to 2 years, to come up with 7 games, because guys, games are not easy to build, especially good games. It's not like abracadabra, and then the next thing is that you have a game coming out. So hope that that message is also out to the communities that it takes time to build a good games, and there are bridges that could work. So, for example, the tap games to now comic book as well, comic strips, to sort of get people to know more about the IPs that was Sekuya is doing. So before the games, there are a lot of things that could be done. That's a good segue for the game developers out there who's listening. So if your game is not ready yet, there are a whole bunch of things that you could do, and for the community to be patient. That Good games do takes time to build. Even if there's ChatGPT, I can tell you it's not easy. I can't just type in like, "Hey, build me this game." It doesn't work this way, especially MMORPG. Now, the next questions that I've got is because VGG is a gaming guild, and I want both of you guys to answer this with absolute honesty. Even though I'm a guild, I'm the host, no pressure. You can say whatever that is truth from your heart. Do you think that a guild is still relevant today? And what do you think is the role of a guild? Who wants to go next? Guys.
All right. I'll go. Yes. So I believe in guilds very much. I actually started. So my whole thing in gaming, right? Like ever since I was a kid, it was always a dream of mine to work in the gaming industry, because I've been a gamer since I guess since birth. I don't know what kind of games I was playing in my mom's womb. I don't know, but I've always wanted to play games, and as I grew up, right, I discovered gaming through like competitive gaming, or like taking gaming seriously with the Ragnarok Online. It's an MMORPG that released in 2002. So that was like where I really, fell in love in terms of gaming. And one thing that I did as a teenager, as like a high school student, I made a guild in Ragnarok Online, right? Like after joining a bunch of guilds, I was just like, there's nothing there for me. So like, I met some friends, convinced some of my classmates. I made a guild, and I think my leadership skills helped develop because I was a teenager leading a bunch of adults, right? Like a bunch of working adults to victory, right? To battle. They're listening to me. So every time I expand to like other games, Silk Road Online, I would have a guild. Silk Road Online was crazier because my guildmates were like spread out across the globe. I have members from like Turkey, US, like Africa, and that was harder. Like we would do voice chats, like everyone's English. Like they didn't know that their guild leader was like a 14 or 15-year-old kid, right? But that's kind of what helped me. And like I've always remembered that my best experiences in games were with guilds, right? So fast forward to now, I'm playing a lot of Forgotten Universe, which is a fantasy MMORPG on Ronin. I made a guild called Grimoire. We're actually, I want to say, I don't want to say self-proclaimed, because I feel like every single metric does point that we are the number one guild in Forgotten Universe. I'll just say it, right? I don't care. I'll just say it. I feel like we are. So I believe in guilds. Like I believe in VGG. I believe in YGG. I believe in like all these kind of groups, because guilds fuel gaming growth. Like without guilds, people are less likely to stick around in games, right? Without friends, you're less likely to stick around. I think guilds are very important to both like push games forward, create content, excite people, and give people reasons to keep and staying around, stick around for long. There are literally games that exist today that still exist today after 10 years, 20 years, right? World of Warcraft, these games, Ragnarok Online, these games are fueled by guilds. Without guilds, I don't think they'll be around. To be honest with you, because who's going to be playing? Where are the relationships? Not every game is fortunate enough to have a super strong single player, mode. And funny enough, actually, even single player games now like have guilds because you need friends to chat. Like, hey, what's your build? What are you doing? So yeah, super bullish on guilds. I think it is important, and dare I say, making a comeback now that there are more games to play, more fun games, exciting games. I think guilds are primed to really, be a very, very crucial part of the Web3 gaming movement.
You just melted my heart. Thank you so much, Nix. Now, before I say anything to that, Josh.
And to keep it simple, I think the core of the human, we all are social people, right? So it's impossible to live by ourselves. Since we born, we grow with a mother, and then with a family, right, and then with friends. It's possible to learn alone. So as long as humans still using that cycle to grow, not doing with the AI. Even when we do with AI, the robotic, it's still someone that we need to social skill, right, together. So as long as we need social, it means guilt is something that will still be needed. So in that sense, I mean, you are the core of the thing that we all need, Irene. I mean, like in all
Aw.
games, what are we without the guild, right? So yeah, I think that's to answer everything.
It just make me so shy, and I just have to escape for a little bit from the screen. But thank you so much, guys, for validating this, because there are a lot of people who was questioning, what guild is, and it took time for us to explain because the concept of guild is so much closely tied to play to earn, and that's it. But having said this repeatedly, like what you mentioned, Josh, and also Nix, is that guild is not a new concept. It's something that has started on before even Web3 was built. It's a time when everybody could get together for the love of gaming, and then it's all about leading the troops to victories, and also about sharing ideas, sharing tricks and tips to see how we can get to the next levels. And I mentioned this to Kuku last week when I met him. Kuku is, if you guys don't know him, he's one of the top influencers in the Philippines. I did mention to him that gamers are one of the most undervalued, misunderstood people, yet the smartest people in the world, and simply because from a kid they started a training ground. Like Nick's at 15 years old is leading up a troops of God knows, we don't care about how old the other side of the world is, right? You could be staying in some remote locations anywhere in Africa, Southeast Asia, India, or any part of the world. It doesn't matter. When gamers get together, we don't see who you are, what's your education background. It's all about let's go and play and conquer the next level and be better at it. And I think that's something that the world needs to learn. And I hope that we are doing that job as a guild to bring everyone together so that it's a safe space for all. I was from the gaming industry, from Web 2, and I fell in love with the game industry because I feel that the game developers, it took them a lot of heart and soul, and also, determinations and grit that we talk about in entrepreneurship. Because imagine if 5, 10 years ago you graduated and you tell your parents, hey, I want to build games, they would be looking at you like, are you insane? You should be becoming a doctor, an engineer, a banker, a
100%.
lawyer. And look, Josh just mentioned it, 200 billion in terms of market cap, right? And Southeast Asia is one of the largest one in the whole world, simply because we have a growing population of younger populations, and also the older populations. My mom, who stopped me from playing games, are now playing games almost on a daily basis. That I have to stop her, like, hey, stop swiping my card and start playing Web3 games. So I'm glad that we
Play
have that.
Pixels. Play Pixels
Exactly.
online.
Pixels is the way to go. So I'm glad that we met up with Luke last week, and in one of the events at Animalka, and also in Ronin events, right? And definitely something up will be coming. And yeah, okay, I'm
Yeah.
shutting up.
They
I'm not
mentioned,
gonna say
they actually
anything.
mentioned, I just wanted to add that Pixels actually said that they welcome mothers, right? Like they're targeting mom gamers. So for all the moms listening there, play Pixels online. Check it out. Pixels.xyz.
And without discriminating the pops could also come by and say hi.
Of course. That's why there's a farm. The pops should be doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. And what's the fun bit of Pixels, I think, is it's also very nostalgic, right? So it doesn't apply to only the younger generations, but it also applies to multi-generation. You will find your positions or your role within the game, and that's what I love about it. It's so inclusive. That's a good point over there. So I'm happy to know that Gil is still relevant. Phew, thank you for that. And up next is let's get down and dirty, right? And so would like to know what do you can you share exactly, what do you do for and with your community, right? Without all the fluffy words and all, just like this is what I do with my community. I play together with them or I stay together with them in a camp house, right? And what are your expectations of your community and what you hope them, hope out of this? Yes, Nix.
Yeah, so sure, I'll take this on. Um, it's very simple. To everyone who's listening here, who's part of the Ronin community. Actually, if you're a Ronin gamer, can you comment Ronin in the chat? I just want to see who's listening here from, who's like playing any Ronin game, Axie game, whatever. Please comment Ronin, just so I see. But even as you type, or even if no one types, so let me tell you, um, all right. See, guapo nacio. Thank you so much. So my thing is I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer as well. I got into Sky Mavis as a community member. I was playing Axie, I was destroying people in Axie, and I was sharing on Twitter how bad I was destroying all these people in Axie. And then Gio saw my tweet and was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And then so I'm a gamer, I'm a community member. My whole thing is I work for the people. Like I am for the people. So when we have new games, when there are opportunities, I always try to put the community first, right? Whether that's making sure that the community has access to the whitelists, right? To the airdrops, to like closed beta, open beta. I always make sure that I focus on the community first. Even like assets, even like if someone like, something like I even step in and help when, for other games, right? For example, other games, they're playing other Ronin games, and I'm like, all right, maybe there's something that I can help, collaborate with one Ronin game with another so that their community is happy. And I'm not gonna leak it, but like there's gonna be a bunch of those where you're gonna see a lot of cross marketing, cross promotions for like the other communities with like the other games, right? We did that when we announced Ragnarok Monster World, right? In Axie, we were able to put Ragmons, like Ragnarok IP in the Axie game, which was until that time was unprecedented in Web3. Like Ragnarok, Gravity, the mother company, is $1 billion IP. They have never done that where like they've lent their IP to a Web3 game, right? And we did that. Axie was the first, and you'll see that more of that. So for me, I just do what's best for the community because I'm like I am for the community. I came from the community, so the rest assured, right? Like they have a guy who like kind of understands what it's like to be community members. So I always think about community. I don't really care about like all the other things. Like I make sure that in whatever way or capacity I can do, make sure that the community members are taken care of. One thing I do want to do more of is like game nights. Having more engagement like with the community. We do have Ronin Radio where we talk about all the different app updates with Ronin, but I want to do more actual gaming with the community. So yeah, maybe one of these days. So everyone who's listening at hold me accountable so that we can do something in the next few weeks. But yeah, I love our community. We won't be here without our community, so they are always the priority.
Irene, you are on the mute.
Sorry, I got excited. No, I was trying to stop myself from saying too much, but are dropping too much alpha. Just like Nick said, better not say much. But following on what Nick said, game nights, I think you can count on that, on whoever is listening, that something is definitely going to come up in the next few weeks, if not in a month time. And I'm pretty excited for it. WeGG, we host a weekly game night. So if you are not a part of it yet, make sure you do. And there's something exciting that we're going to definitely do together with multiple games. There's a bit of hint over there. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, um, I think the value in Sekuya started like many of the projects have communities, or they are actually blessed with communities. So it means like the community choose to love the project, but sometimes the project didn't really have the heart for the community back. So they are not able to bring the community into the right direction. So by the end of the day, the community is scattered. So what we do is like we bring them together in a way that let's achieve something, let's solve something, let's have a milestone and finish something. For example, like Sekuya is like one of the project that able to finish certic 100K votes for audit, right? Um, Only like less than five projects in the whole space that able to do that. They prefer to just pay and then it's done, right? But we choose the hard way. We do the voting until 100K. So that's one of the thing that we did, and the community is happy because okay, we are able to do that together, something like that. So yeah, I think that's how we do it. We call the values like action first, party later. So we're going to party together, but it's better to take action together also like, during the journey.
Action first, party later. Well said. A bit different than what we experienced last week, but love that. Now, you guys talk about, community comes first, and it's great to know that a lot of us, we do come from the communities. Nick's definitely is a testament who come from the community. I started off as a scholarship manager actually, for YGG, managing a couple of thousands of scholars before we actually go full blown, because we really need to know what's happening on the ground, the technicalities. If they're like, oh, we're gonna do a guild, right? So that's what we also did. And Joshua, I know you also come from communities, not precisely gamers, but also come from communities of Web3 that's very, very deep. You got an army over there of Sekuyas. And I know that you guys are super active and clearly humans, not bots. If they keep saying that we are bots, we're just going to say we are bots with flesh and blood of human. And now I want to bring in someone special. So let's see if the audience, whether or not our head of gaming, Tana, is in the crowd. I think, yeah. So Tana, in the Joyal Jude, can we bring Tana in, please? Because Tana is definitely someone who is a force to be reckoned with, especially in Thailand, XC Infinity, an OG in the space. And now he is our head of gaming. Tana, you're muted. Tana, are you there?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Can you turn on your camera, please? Could you share with the world about how
Okay,
your
okay.
journey?
Glad to be
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Could you welcome? So, I'm sure Nix is like, that's Tana. Yeah. So Tana, would you mind sharing your journey from, an OG playing the XC Infinity games, creating your own guilds, creating XC Thailand, the largest, on the official, or if not official, the largest XC community in Thailand, and now becoming head of gaming in WeGG?
Sure. Okay, where did Nick go? All right. So
Sorry to put you on the spot, man.
Sorry. When Thana went in, like I couldn't hear anything, so I had to reconnect.
Oh, you guys are
good.
like brothers.
But
Go
yeah,
ahead, Tana.
it's been a long journey, and yeah, I would like to say, yeah, I'm basically here. I really enjoy the community building aspect part of Web3, and that's why I'm here all along through the first bowl, not the first bowl, the bowl in 2021 until now. That's really it really drives me to kind of build the community organically, and yeah, that's basically what drives me, and I resonate to a lot of what Nick's shared before, I started as a community member, started into actually a lot deeper into Web3 in general with Axie. So that was like early 2021. Uh, and yeah, been a community member playing Axies ever since. And then, yeah, I got on really into it. Then, yeah, get to talk to Gabby, get to YDG, and then we have WeGG as the Southeast Asian sub DAO. And yeah, we are here. So yeah, really enjoyed them.
And
Pretty
Tana,
long.
I know Tana have a pressing question for Nix. Nix, you've been hyper focused on Philippines when it comes to Axie community. What are we gonna do with Axie community or Ronin community in Thailand and in Indonesia? Could you provide some
Yes.
leakages, please? Right? That's what you want to ask, right, Tana?
Okay,
I do,
actually,
yeah. A lot of communities or members are asking. I mean, I think it starts to like earlier this year with the launch with Ronin on BitCup as well. So yeah, that really gives our hopes up with the Thai community. So yeah, really love to hear what your thoughts more on that.
Um, we've actually we've actually been expanding a lot in Indonesia. I think it's something that maybe people don't see like with the naked eye. It's like kind of like behind the scenes. Indonesia, since we've started like doing active efforts, that again we don't announce, like sometimes we do things in stealth also, right? Like because it's an experiment. Like some of these experiments you have to do it first before you're like, oh, it works. Now that I know it works, I'm gonna double down, or I'm gonna do it for another region, right? That's how we've kind of been approaching this like regional expansion, right? And I guess I'll just say that it has been working well in Indonesia for Axie Infinity. We've seen Indonesia rise up into the top two, top three regions for like population in Axie Infinity. We have, we're trying to build momentum there and try to see how that trickles down to Ronin Games. So Indonesia kind of like is already cooking. For Thailand, definitely that's the next big priority in terms of like Southeast Asia regional expansion. We'll have some conversations about that, but we are definitely thinking about Thailand. You guys nailed it. It's actually Indonesia and Thailand, which we're kind of like in terms of Southeast Asia. We want to like have a stronger, footing there. The Philippines is like kind of like home court, right? Like the home court. Um, Thailand and Indonesia hopefully follow suit. We're seeing some significant growth in LATAM as well, and even the US, which is a. I think it also depends on like the kind of game, right? So here's my alpha also, right? The way I look at regional expansion is that I've learned that shoving a game down the throats of like people in a certain country doesn't work, right? Like sometimes it has to be the right game. Sometimes it has to be the right game that you bring to a country that like that country will want to play, right? And I'm talking about Ragnarok because Thailand is a Ragnarok country, right? So we could be using Monster World as the gateway to like activate the Thailand community. So that's how we look at it, right? So Lumiterra is something that the Chinese community wants, right? So instead of like shoving, Axie Infinity or whatever other game, in front of them, they're like, no, it's Lumiterra, right? And once they fall in love with that game, then they discover the other game. So yeah, I'm very bullish. Basically, TLDR, I'm bullish on growth and expansion and user acquisition, wherein you lead with a game first or a project. Can be some maybe even adapt, right? Maybe even adapt something that a country or like a region would like to use, and get them from there, right? Like that is kind of how I think a more effective way to do it. And yeah, I think we're getting there.
And now you have the game selection to do it.
Yes, that's the beauty of it, right?
And I want to drop an alpha is that it's an alpha that should be known for everyone, but then common sense is not so common. So I'm just going to drop it right here. Southeast Asia has 600 million population, and 300 million of those resides in Indonesia. Tana, you want to defend Thailand?
Yeah, just a quick fact. Historically, Thailand has been a. I mean, we have a very diverse of gamers that play different genres, but yeah, MMORPGs is like one of the top that people play. And I think Nix, you also notice it as well, and your days playing Ragnarok Online, where like Thai guilds are like on the top. And if you see maybe a dates back in 2021 or so, like we were also on the top of like at one of the Axie Infinity players top regions as well at some point. So I think in Thailand there's a lot of potential to tap to, and they also have a lot of I would say liquidity to kind of get the assets that they need to play in like many of the games. So yeah, right. Like now, Thailand is also really hyped about, for example, Pixels Online as well. The last event, the farming Barney Bazaar event that they had, Thai member is like the top number one of the leaderboard, and then yeah, there's a very active community playing different Web3 games, and yeah, really high potential.
And I gotta say that Thailand actually is one of the countries that have a really high ARPU, average revenue per user. So while Indonesia provide the troops or the armies, just like how Sekuya provide the Sekuya armies,
And then
and yeah,
sorry,
Thailand
yeah,
has got the
you mentioned
revenues per
in
user.
terms of grinding, the Thai many of Thai players are really good at grinding, and without any external help as well as you know, Pixel has a very strict policy of botting or auto functions, and yeah, the guys they do it themselves, and we know uh, that they actually did those. So in terms of grinders, Thais are really good at that as well.
I have a very long history, a gaming history with Thailand, right? So Ragnarok Online, because I've been playing it since 2003. Yeah, honestly, like I've been playing it for 20 plus years, right? And the Thailand community has been playing Ragnarok as long as I have, right? Like, and sometimes like you would play with them, and like sometimes there would be servers where it's both Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and like Thai very competitive. They're like always they're the hardest to beat. They're really good at like gaming, right? So like I always look at Thailand as like Philippines and Thailand like are the most hardcore gamers, I think, in Southeast Asia. I'm not just talking about like numbers, but like just the drive and like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So very bullish on Thailand.
Josh, these two are talking about Thailand and Philippines, and they don't put Indonesia on the map. I need your help to do that for me because I'm supposed to be neutral here as a host. Josh, do something. Unmute yourself, man.
Okay, I'm actually right now researching about the data also regarding with the gaming industry. Yeah, but what I can say regarding with the Philippines, it's actually by data is bigger than Indonesia, right? So yeah,
You're
that's
supposed to
something
be
that
helping me, man.
no, I'm happy in a way. So actually, right now, Philippines is actually around $3 billion. Indonesia is around $2.2 billion, right? So Indonesia is getting there. We're getting to spend more, right? But what's interesting if because like in this discussion we are talking about Southeast Asia, right? Southeast Asia. So let me give you data about Southeast Asia, right? Because each of the country will go even bigger in terms of population. Indonesia is actually top three in terms of players. So if you guys looking for players, we have Brazil, India, and Indonesia. So there you go, right? So players, we are winning, Irene. This is the data. Yeah. So Southeast Asia, $14 billion of $202 billion for market gaming market. So it's about 7%. For total country, 11 countries out of 195 countries, so 5%. It means like we are bonus 2% of the whole population in the world for the
This is
market share.
this is super bullish, right? So actually, let's not make it Indonesia versus Philippines versus Thailand. Let's just
It
say
is Southeast Asia.
Asia is very strong, and like one of the most
Yeah.
annoying things for me is when I go to some of these conferences and like they ignore Asia as if we don't have money. The numbers don't lie, right? The numbers don't lie. We have the gamers, we have the player liquidity, You have the competitive players, and these players are willing to spend. I don't know who started the rumor that gamers don't like spend. No, even though the this is the funniest part. Yes, it's true. The minimum wage in these countries are lower. Like people earn less, but they are degens, so they spend whatever they have on gaming. Period. So so they spend, right? They spend.
And it's not only spending on gamers, right? I don't know if this is good or not, but even before Web3, I mean, guys, a lot of people out there who are non-gamers, who are already parents, a lot of you guys are annoyed by your kids playing games. Why? Two reasons: because they spend your money and you do not understand games enough that you think that they're not going to be make it big in the gaming industry. But one of the reasons is because they've been swiping your card. So where does the card, the nominal amount goes to? It goes to the gaming industry that makes up of those numbers and statistics. And I've got someone over there, my CLO, who's glaring at me because he has his son's playing games nonstop all the time. And guess what? Now she's a part of the gaming guild. Now, coming back to this, right? I know this is a heated discussion, but I like how we sum everything together. That, we could be Indonesians, we could be Filipinos, we could be Thai, we could be Vietnam, we could be anything. But the thing is, we are united as Southeast Asian, and Southeast Asian is the future of, not the future, man, it's the present time of gaming, both in Web 2 and Web 3. That's why in a lot of conferences, even in Web 3, people actually look at how do we penetrate into Southeast Asia market. And I'll tell you what, Southeast Asia is unique. In each and every country, we are extremely unique, extremely different, but you put all of us together in the games that we all love, we become one. Ragnarok is a great example. It's not a place where all of us should just be friends. I've known so many couples who get married starting from Ragnarok. They met each other in the game, and then they do an IRL. That's before Web3. And then, bang, the next thing we know is that they got married. So many Ragnarok couples out there in Southeast Asia. And this is also it become an international marriage, right? Thanks to games. So it, it it removes all the barriers that, if you are in Indonesia, just think about Indonesia, that's all the opportunity. But I tell you what, it's not true, because a lot of couples are international, a lot of jobs are cross-border and international, doesn't matter who you are. With Web3 gaming, it makes it even so much easier. So thanks a lot for the stats. Now, all of you guys might have known that we made an announcement this morning that we're listing in Gate.io, and there are a lot more announcements that's coming in. So the TG is happening in 2 days. Now, I want to get to Josh from Sekuya. Your TG was a great success, and I've heard a lot of people quoting that they are. You said just now you have 100,000 people voting on Certix, and at your TGE you also have more than 30,000 organic wallets participating in your TGE. What tips could you give to the WGG and to the WGG community for our upcoming TGE? And what's your views of the TGE?
Okay, thank you, Arin. To humbling myself, I think yeah, it can be a better TGE, right? So, but it's a good one. I mean, like we got 200 QLs joining also. Yeah, I think for a successful TGE, um, it definitely need to be a strong holders. So the people that on the IDO, if you guys are part of the WGG on the private or seat, definitely needs to be very strong holders. When you buy it, you need to understand that the whole ecosystem. Just to make it simple, because sometimes in the Web3 they don't want to complicate things, right? You see the people, like you see Irene, she looks so cute, right? She looks so trustworthy. So that's the person that you guys invest at. So I think to make a successful TGE, look at the founder, right? She is very hardworking and non-stop event. I think from the last August until now, even to the token. So we did event together, doing a racing, bringing the race car of Sekuya together in CoinFest Asia also. We are going to do some stuff later also. So I think, yeah, try to see in that perspective. Um, I think that will be making it even more successful.
Thank you so much, Josh. Next, do you have any tips for our communities? Uh, and also, any words on our upcoming TGE?
I don't have tips. Like I don't really have experience in like launching a token, right? But I think if advice, right? Because I guess it's a launch, right? So my mindset in every single launch is that number one, you're doing something where the TG is like a very important moment for you, right? Like it's a very important moment for the company and also a very important moment for the community. So as long as you have the community with you, like, and they feel as included as it in that process as possible, like that's a big win, right? And I guess my only tip, right, is that because you're treating this as a launch, right? You guys can think of something creative or something that maybe you haven't done before, and do it like in the TT, right? So for me, like every time there's a launch, my rule is always do one experiment that you haven't done before, and try it out, right? And the way you're smiling, I feel like you have this experiment in the back, Irene. So that's cool, right? Like just do something, and this is the time to like take it's an exciting moment, so you can take a few risks here and there. When I say risk, not really something crazy or it's bad, but like just do something fun, because yeah, this is a big moment, and it should feel that way for everyone involved.
I like what you say, do something fun. And Josh, thank you so much to say that, look at the founders, really appreciate it. Next, I was smiling because in everything that we do, we try to bring back once in a lifetime, right? Experience. Like in CoinFest, for example, if some of you guys were there, you would suddenly see there's a Warung WGG, which basically means a sari sari shop that we brand and take over during the CoinFest, and we call it Warung WGG or Sari Sari Shop WGG, and that belongs to the communities. We also rebranded motorbike taxis with WGG helmets and the vests as well to make sure that all our guests are safe and all our partners are safe as well. And we did a takeover of a bar and call it WGG Bar. Did a takeover of a villa and call it WGG headquarters right across Luna Beach Club. And obviously within the Luna Beach Club there was a WGG game day. And I think from that event, single event itself, it was pretty fruitful to get the brand out there. So it's not only going to be TGE, but there'll be continuous surprises that one of them will be with Josh and one of them is actually with Sky Mavis. But Tana, I'm excited to meet you tomorrow. And you want to share a little bit about how you feel as part of, the OGs and then the WGG team, head of gaming, the very heart of WGG. And then tomorrow we are going to get together as a team from day one to launch the token.
Yeah, I feel great. We're finally doing it. So, and I mean, everything that I pushed for, the reason why I'm here all this time is all because of the community. So yeah, I'm really glad that we're doing this, and really appreciate all the community members that we have all this time. So and yeah, love to continue pushing more and yeah, building more exciting stuff and giving value to the community, gaming community, Web3 community in general. So yeah, really exciting times, and I'm really looking forward to the future.
Thanks a lot for that, Tana. With that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Today's topic is our community focus, overrated and abused. Today, you hear it. A lot of projects out there might be talking about community focus, community focus. You hear it straight directly from the builders themselves, Joshua and Nix, and Tana, who are actually from the community and represent the community in different projects that they are part of and continue to create values for the community. We in WeGG, we are pushing the WeGG tokens out because we want to make sure that these tokens could be plugged in to the platforms immediately so that we can continue delivering utilities not only from the tokens but from the platform. So if any of you guys have not joined, there are referral codes out there. It's gated by referral codes. The reason for that is so that we try to limit the number of bots that come in, and we want to value the guilds or the communities that bring, or the games that bring in the communities, and also help each guild and each games to better manage the communities with the platform that's there. Sekuya has already have a badge. Axie Infinity is on the way. And Thanos will definitely be managing the Axie Thailand community in WeGG platform. So if some of you guys are not familiar with WeGG.io yet, make sure that you head there. One of the Sekuya, maybe you could share the referral code that Sekuya have. Josh is zoning out. Okay, I just found it. It's
Yeah.
W3-Sekuya.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. A bit rough there before, but yeah, you guys can also join in the W3 slash Sekuya, definitely in the WGG, and yeah, you can join and get the badges also from Sekuya. Happy to being part of the family. Thank you for inviting also here, Irene.
Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Nix. Thank you, Tana, for your time and this lovely evening on Monday night. I know all of you, some of you guys just come back from Tokens, super tiring week. So thank you so much. Really appreciate the time that you guys have given us. Till then, we'll see you very soon. With that, let's say goodbye to everyone.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Josh. Good. Thank you.